Hey, good evening, Galleon. This is Mayor Tom O'Leary. I've come out of my basement. I've been secluded down there the last couple of weeks. I'm only joking. It is good to be back on a Monday night. Yeah, with the holidays and a little bit of a dormant schedule at City Hall. We have been a little bit sketchy about the last few weeks, but we're here tonight. We'll try to get going here as far as 2022 goes, and heck, who wants to watch Alabama and Georgia anyways? So I'll make a few comments about where I think we are as a city, and see if there's some questions out there. And again, as I said a moment ago, get the momentum going as far as communication between City Hall and the Galleon community. So. Where I believe we're at going into tomorrow night's meeting is have a budget passed. The auditor, Brian Satterfield, has really done a tremendous job. I think the last time we were on here, I was throwing bouquets his way. It's really outstanding what he did in that period of time. Right after he was elected in November until the end of last year. And I think it's, while we're still a little shaky coming into 22, getting the operating side and the financial side harmonized, the budget, the books reconciled, those sorts of auditing and bookkeeping issues. I can say that we moved ahead. We paid payroll, I guess. Did we, Matt? Yeah, okay. Matt got his paycheck. We paid payroll last week. And I say all of that because I think it is a real good commentary on where we're going as far as the Galleon City Auditor's Office. I'm encouraged by that. He's back at full staff. We'd had a key person off for many, many weeks. She's back. We have a new staffer, and so I think although we're still not up to full speed, I believe that all of us will continue to learn a lot over the next couple of months. But what I would expect is that turns into an agenda, into legislation. I'd expect to see a few things early on where items were not included in the original budget and need to be included now, and you'll see that tomorrow night. There's, if I'm not mistaken, the need to get the city health department. Although they're operating separately under their own funds and their own accounts, it's still necessary for city council to appropriate their funds. That didn't get done in the overall, the rest of the city budget, so that has to be taken care of tomorrow night. And I really think you're going to see a few more of those items where, or a few more of those issues where items were not included in my effort and our office's effort to get the budget ready, and with the now auditor, at that point auditor-elect, trying to pull together and get reconciled the financial side. So anyways, long story long, I think we'll have some corrective legislation as we bump along the first few months, but by and large, I believe we're off to a better than one could expect start, and we'll kind of see how that goes, bill by bill, payroll by payroll, and as we move into 22. Other things that'll be interesting to see is how, and I was making a comment to one of the other area media over the last week or so. I was talking about how, although there are only two individuals changing on city council, I think the balance of opinion, or the balance of what direction council wants to go, has shifted a little bit. And so I think what's important in the first few months of 22 is to see what kinds of lead, what what direction, excuse me, in what direction the city will move in terms of development and growth, and insofar as investing in our utilities and matching that up with revenues that can get rejuvenated utilities, but also keep rates in sort of a reasonable, gee, this is galleon, where we need to look out for lower income, older people primarily in terms of what types of utility rates that council passes and the city institutes. And I've mentioned this a couple times before, but it bears repeating. The service director sets the water rates, and the city council sets the sewer rates. So what I expect to see over the first few months of 2022 is a discussion about what's the right level of rates so that we can be affordable for our citizens, our customers, and but also raise enough money to make the necessary improvements that either the regulators, EPA, or a combination of the regulators and local officials agree need to be done. So I think that'll be in this whole area. And I guess if I were to offer some advice on this before we see if there are any questions, what I would do is spend a little time, and if you can't watch the committee meetings live, that's cool, but try to pick those up off our website and watch those, because one of the things I'm trying to do this year is to try to have those committee meetings not just be a vehicle to discuss legislation that's going to come up at the next meeting generally, but to discuss some of the issues that need a good discussion between the mayor's office and city council. So I'm going to try to have a little bit more discussion of the issues before we move into or decide not to have legislation drawn up. A couple quick examples if somebody might be thinking about, oh, what the hell are you talking about? Electric vehicle chargers. Try to have a discussion about how we want to proceed with that as a city. Last year we brought it up kind of as an advisory matter, and found out that council really wasn't that interested at the time. So that would be an item that, without bringing it up over and over, one of the things I hope to do with this new city council is to have an open discussion about those kinds of topics. What we do going forward about capital improvements in the electric fund would be another example. Although I didn't come in here tonight to talk about the electric fund and medium and long-term investments. Those are a couple examples of vehicle charging and the need to improve our high voltage lines over the next handful of years. A couple of issues that I expect the committees, my hope is to have them discuss the items rather than administration, as they say, bringing that stuff to council and asking for votes on projects that maybe aren't well enough understood or haven't had much of a discussion. So I'll stop at that point. Matt, you got anything there?
Nothing so far.
Okay. Well, the other items I think that we're going to see that are likely to change is, as I think most people know, we have a new police chief and an incumbent fire chief. In each one of those departments, there are some things that are going to be changing this year, or items that need to be discussed and as I said a minute ago, better understood by city council, whether it's funding within the safety forces. A good example that I'm making reference to would be how the city plans to implement or incorporate, whatever word you want to use, work into the schedule, might be the way many people would see it, are 3 new officers funded by the federal SAFER funds. One of the fun things about being mayor is getting to swear in new police and fire officers. So tomorrow, two out of the three, excuse me, two out of the three safer, the new firefighters, we're going to swear those in. The other one is going to school, getting additional training, so he won't be here tomorrow night, but the other two will be here. And I think, my hope is to utilize the council committees to discuss how that staffing is going to be rolled out, how we're going to provide service and have more manpower, more people power to respond. And the background as to why we got funded has a lot to do with the need to have enough officers, enough firefighters in this particular case, to meet the service territory that we respond to. So, got anything else?
No, I do not have anything.
Yeah, one of the things that we'll try to do is, as I said, regain some momentum about using this and to this YouTube channel and Facebook Live stuff. Again, it'll be interesting to see tomorrow night. Matt, can you think of anything else on the agenda tomorrow? I know we have the correction with the health department. Anything else tomorrow night?
Authorization for the annual bidding.
Oh yeah, that's right. All the sort of general items, the salt, the chemicals at the water plant, those sorts of things are under one large umbrella ordinance. So tomorrow night, probably move through relatively quickly, but Wednesday night, is a Parks Committee meeting. Thursday, I believe, is police, fire, and health. We're coming up soon.
Where's that streets committee?
I don't know. Whatever you say. So I was responding to, but the point of it is that the committees are starting to meet, and it's kind of fun to start up the new council, and we're looking forward to the first meeting. We had the organizational meeting a week ago. This meeting coming up here on tomorrow will be the first meeting of the year, and I'm anxious to get that underway and start this term of office for a whole bunch of new council and elected officials. So, we got anything there?
Not at this time.
Yeah, I'd hate to think how small our audience and interest level would be if Ohio State was playing tonight. But we're trying to fight into some headwinds there with the national championship game. It's fun to be back on here. Share this, and although there's not a whole lot of exciting and new information about the city coming out tonight, it's fun to be back on air and starting this third term to serve the people of Galion. So with that said,
I just wanted to say,
Yep.
Council-elect Carrie Ziegler pointed out Police, Fire, and Health is on the 20th, so it must be streets this Thursday.
okay. All right, well, she's way out in front getting her agenda set because I responded to an email to her, so that's a good sign right there. So, okay, well, I appreciate it, and thanks for tuning in, Carrie, and we'll see some of you tomorrow night through the internet, and appreciate the time that people have taken to watch this, and we'll endeavor to have more content as we move ahead. Good night for now.